Okay, so since we're talking about this, in the community that she was in, you guys watched the video. Maybe you guys know the details of the vicinity she was in. If this was the same exact type of size woman that Anton was describing, and it was in opposite vicinity that I'll say again Beverly Hills or a more prominent white neighborhood, would the in the situation happen, would you have the same sentiments?
No.
I just don't believe.
Can
Honestly,
I
I
add
just
something, Q? Because I hear what you're saying. That might be right. Like I can take it is not a black and white issue, but I can take what you're saying as a fact. Maybe people who are not from our community are scared of us. There are different cultural things. People stigma causes people to oversimplify communities, so people make assumptions. That's cool, but I think the consensus is sort of like we can't really apologize for that. Like when you talk about the difference between the same woman, if she was 5'2", whatever pounds, being white or black, being the only difference as to why she got shot in her head. Like didn't try to
I
shoot through
agree.
a body shot, didn't try like when that's the
Well,
only
you
difference.
can't. I don't. Most people don't. You probably know this. You can't. If you're gonna kill, if you're gonna shoot somebody, you have to shoot to kill them. You can't shoot to injure. That's like against the
Cops
law
are
to shoot
not
somebody. You can't.
so cops
They're.
are
You have
not
to shoot
supposed
to
to
kill.
cops are not supposed to automatically shoot to kill. That's
Yeah,
not
they're
Yes,
not.
they are.
Wait, they're
Yes, they
trained
are. If
to kill.
nigga, if you're
There
afraid for your
to
life, you're not
neutralize
shooting
the
to injure.
threat.
Wait, neutralize doesn't mean to kill. So if I'm walking with a knife
That's
towards a
not
man,
right. If
he
she
has
shot
to
in her
Have you
leg,
shoot
she
to
would
kill
be.
me. So he
have
can't
you
That's
shoot.
guys
not right.
seen when someone has a knife
Not
and
right.
when they shoot them and they still keep like moving? Okay, this is separate from this horrific situation with Sonya. But if you shoot someone in the leg or something like that, they are still moving. Like there's plenty of videos. That's why they shoot center mass to neutralize or basically eliminate the threat so that they don't either take their life or take the lives of others.
Yeah, you can't shoot somebody in the leg and say you're afraid for your life, so I shot him in the leg. No, no. It's actually against the law. Like, can't do that.
Coach K, can I
And that's
say
hard.
Coach K, can I say
Sorry, go ahead.
It sucks, but it's true.
Go
I
ahead.
do have to go, but I wanted to say I think that's a misinterpretation though, because
Mhm.
cops are trained to shoot until they terminate the threat. But if you're
Mhm.
5'2", 160 pounds, you could terminate the threat without shooting her in the head. That's I think so. So shoot to kill
No,
is like
I'm not talking about this situation. No, not this
you're talking
situation.
about in
I'm
general. Yeah,
saying,
yeah, yeah. But I'm
yeah,
saying
not
if
no. With Sonya, no, they should never have even pulled their weapons. Like this is horrific. This is complete negligence. I don't even know the word. Yeah, this is just complete wrong.
I think
100%. But I was speaking in
even
general
the
about
dude got
law
fired
enforcement.
immediately. He got fired immediately and they charged him with murder. So it sounds like it was on the prosecution side. It sounds like it's pretty cut and dry.
Charged
Like
and
they gave him all
convicted
the
are two.
felonies and fired him like that. It wasn't even a question. They didn't even try to fight it like they usually do.
Charged and convicted are two different things. Yes, he definitely should be charged. He should be put away. But until we
Well,
get that
convicted is up
conviction,
to the
when we
people
until we
looking.
get that conviction, I don't want to hear it. I need him under
Well,
the jail.
conviction ain't got nothing to do with us. It has to do with the people, jury or your peers. So
Yeah,
True.
but
you know.
and that's the scary and that's the scary part because we have so many people playing it. Well, maybe they were scared, and what if they was like this? And it's just like that is what's gonna what that those type of people who are in the court of public opinion and jurors who sit on this jury if it goes to trial and have these split thoughts on well maybe they did feel scared. This is what's going to keep people like him out of jail for doing crimes like this.
well, y'all say
And then
it's
on top,
not a racial thing, but I bet you 100% the defense gonna want white people in that jury box.
well here's the thing, I'm not even saying that this is a they did it because she was black. No, they did it because they are dirty
It doesn't
cops,
make any
right?
sense to me that you murdered someone on body cam. Like I can't wrap my mind around it.
Yeah, because he's done it before. We're talking 6 different agencies within 4 years. So this is just one murder that we've seen. Imagine why he had to move around so many other times. He's been a problem. And you know what else is a problem? That these other police agencies know his track record and continue to hire him and continue to put him out on these streets. That is why we need police reform. I'm not even saying get rid of the police, but there needs to be reformation. It absolutely does, because the fact that they back the blue that much with somebody that problematic, who already has a track record of using excessive force, who has done horrible things in his career as a policeman, and yet there are different agencies that are still picking this guy up, that's a problem. And,
I
and,
don't
and,
think
and
that that has anything to do with police reform. I could be wrong though.
it's a part
I
of
mean, I
police
just think
reform.
I think that it's an individual thing. I honestly believe it. I just think that that's why I don't want to make this a black white issue. I honestly believe that just it's a bad cop that
It's a
was
bad
on the
hire.
street. It's a bad cop that was on the streets that should not have been involved in this situation in the first place. I just honestly believe that.
And I agree, but my problem is those 6 agencies enabled him, knowing what he's capable of, knowing how bad of a cop he was. That is my issue.
I
Because
don't know about that. Yeah.
if there's so many good cops out here, why are you hiring a minute? Why do you continuously
Well, okay.
hire
Well,
when that's a
let me add some more context to that.
okay?
In Chicago, they are understaffed by over 2,000 police officers. And part of the reason that they're understaffed by over 2,000 police officers is because in Chicago, in particular, police officers are targeted by criminals and they're handcuffed by legislation from being able to do their jobs effectively. So, for example, last year there was a black woman that was targeted by Chicago criminals and they killed her on her way home after she had just clocked out of work. And then in the same area, exact same area, there was I believe it was a relatively Asian cop, if I'm not mistaken, that got killed in the same area. What people don't understand is that largely, and if you look at the demographics and you look at what's going on in America, police officers are killed at a much greater rate relative to actually dealing with criminals than on the opposite side. So police officers are targeted. They're underpaid, they're overworked, largely, and then this don't have nothing to do with the Sean Gray. This don't have nothing to do with Sonya Massey. But we're talking about police reform and you're talking about the appeal of the job itself. Listen, you can't even get people to get a fast food job, but you're going to try to convince people to put their lives on the line in a culture where we talking about police officers are the devil, where we talking about police officers are being targeted, that they largely can't even keep a marriage. They are removed from their children because they working so much overtime. You not going to recruit the right type of people to even police their own communities when they automatically labeled as bad for the community en masse and by large by the media, instead of us condemning the individual decisions of each individual cop. And we evaluate them. Do I think that we need to get the road cops up out of here? Absolutely. But I'm trying to tell you, the culture has already demonized police officers regardless, because if you put the uniform on, no matter how good you are as a person, you are of the devil.
Well,
and so I'm telling you that you can't just, recruitment is a much more difficult task than you would believe. That's all I'm saying.
No, I get what, and I totally understand that. However, shit, I'm losing my thought. The problem is this, right? When it comes to this situation with this particular officer, right? We need the reform because they're not doing the proper due diligence in vetting people who want to become police officers. They're not doing mental evaluations. They're not testing people's like how they are under pressure, dealing with high touch situations. They're not. They're hiring trigger happy, like you said, bitch ass men, right? Who are hiding behind a badge and doing a lot of bullying. Okay, wait, I got it back. I got my thought back. Let me just get this off because I did lose it. But this is my thing. When it comes to, everybody thinks the police are devils. Well, why is that? Why is that? Let's talk about
the media.
wait a minute. It was returned. 1 second.
Well, you asked
Let's just unpack why the police was even created in the first place, right? In this country. I mean that's the truth. That's a fact. But we don't even have to go.
So you do want to get rid of police then?
Wait, that's not what I said, sis. Please don't cut me off.
Why'd you make that argument then?
No. That's not what I said, sis. Please don't cut me off. Listen to what I'm saying. before you project whatever it is you got going on onto me. Because I'm being very clear with what I'm saying.
I support police, so I'm not projecting anything.
No, and I'm sure you do support police because you've seen them support you in a way that maybe black and brown people haven't, right? And that's what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. What has police done in masses, right, to earn the trust of black and brown people when we see that they treat us so different than everybody else? This is not made up, guys. We're not making this up. This is not a fallacy.
Yes, you are.
No.
Yes, we are.
Have you ever had a rolling dryer?
I can talk about because we absolutely need police. We absolutely need police, but there needs to be a reform on what policing is, and because they are running under the same indoctrination. Go ahead.
Let's explore. Let's explore. So, what exactly does police reform look like? What would you like to see?
I would like to see officers that know how to handle situations like Sonya Massey correctly.
I have a video. If you want to see it, I have a video. I have a video.
No. I want to let her finish getting her thoughts off. So exactly what does, because I need to know how you implement this, because reform on a mass scale, each individual police department is different in each city, each state, so on and so forth.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. They all back the blue. They all back the blue.
Let me finish my question. From a policy perspective, what exactly does police reform look like? Because we can say, well, how she handles this particular person or how they handle this particular person, right? Yeah. But every day, I'm gonna be honest with you, because I research this stuff and I talk about it every day on the show. Every day they're involving and changing how it is that police officers can interact with the general public. So I'll give you an example. Over in New York, they're starting to use electronic dogs, right? Like the General Dynamics robot dogs to go in and handle certain situations. They don't do stop and frisk anymore, which then allowed for criminals to run rampant. And now New York has fallen into a crime-ridden city, whereas they then started to clean up the city significantly, and that's why tourism has started to boom and Times Square had became what it is. They had cleaned up New York City, right? They had got all of the drug dealers and all of that stuff off the streets. Over in Oakland, the police officers are so handcuffed that they're neglecting to even chase the criminals when the criminals do something bad, because legislation and reform said that you can't chase police officers can't lead on high-speed chases because it endangers the public. So now criminals don't care anymore. That's why you started seeing a lot of flash mobs where a whole bunch of people would walk in and there was still a whole bunch of stuff that were going to high-end stores. I know y'all seen a whole thing like over the last year or two where they were going in and they were robbing all of the stores. The police officers' hands are tied because of reform that I believe, in my opinion, was negatively affecting communities. And now you see all of this stuff and all of this crime running rampant. And not only that, police officers started quitting in mass, because if they were going to be held accountable for dealing with criminals, and I'm not talking about this type of shooting right here, but if they were going to be held accountable for arresting criminals, and then the criminals can then sue them for handling them too aggressively, that's what then causes for police officers not to want to police the communities, and then crime run rampant in a lot of these places. So when I'm saying what does reform look like, I'm saying that police officers and their departments are reforming constantly on a regular basis, but we don't like it because now we're complaining that crime in our areas and in our neighborhoods are exploding, like over in Chicago, New York, Oakland, San Francisco.
Detroit is booming. Chicago's not even on the crime list anymore.
No, it's not. Detroit has evolved. So much so, listen, I'm here. I talk to police. Rita, when is the last? What do we have in our house? What do we host in our house? And who has come in our house? And literally in this place right here, who has come in and toured and have extensive conversations with us about what's going on in the police departments and what's happening? Say it again, loud.
Making police victims.
Listen, if y'all don't understand.
Trying to make police victims when they raise hell.
I host police officers. I talk about the crime, the data, and the statistics. I can call the Michigan State Police. I can call the top of the police, not the police chief, but I have connections, and I host them on the rooftop and in my home today. That is a lie. When you're talking about these crime and these statistics, it's much different than what we're talking about really in certain cities. and also is concentrated in specific gang areas. But when it's talking about real crime and statistics about how it is that they're rooting out certain things, Detroit police officers don't even police petty crimes anymore. They only go after the big crimes. If you out here and if you getting stopped by a Detroit cop, for example, for running a red light or something, you doing something really wrong, or your plate is wrong, or you want it or something like that, because they don't even chase regular petty theft and criminals. They're not even looking for weed and none of that no more. They going after big crimes, and it's a completely different overhaul of how it is that they police in the community.